welcome.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about the kangaroo court, as we brand it now, finally. In my opinion, it's a kangaroo court. A court that does not have what it takes to be even called a court, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But before we go any further, Emil, let us talk about these 2 hours. Do you know the situation where you have to solve for one problem, but by solving for that problem, you create a second problem? Yeah. So the issue of 2 hours was introduced,
yes,
because, in my opinion, of Long. Yes.
Yes.
It was because of Longwe, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because the phone of Longwe was putting Longwe there at around 5. Right?
Yes.
And then Steyn came.
Just before the incident, allegedly.
In my opinion, allegedly. As a savior, allegedly. He came and said, no, add 2 hours to that. And then that put Longwe to what? 7. Longwe arrived there at around
just
7.
Before 7.
That's before 7. Yes.
It was 1850 something.
Yes. Because he could have arrived there. It wasn't 5. If it was 5, then plus 2, that takes you to 7.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Because remember, when initially we watched the documentary, right? And we analyzed the documentary and what everybody was saying in the documentary.
Yes.
And Tumelo on the documentary was saying at around 7 o'clock we were watching soccer.
Yes.
It was a game between, I forgot the teams.
Man United and Chelsea. Yes.
And then we looked on the interweb, and the time of that match was from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
And then they said the game could have started later. And
but here's the thing.
Yes, we argued about that.
When Tumelo is narrating in the documentary, he is speaking of Longwe entering while the game was on.
And that's where the problem started. Because we started now probing as to, according to when the game was on.
The time. Hi, wafika Steyn.
What to say? No.
Hi, uSteyn. Wati hi. Lesi sikhathi lesi esivelayo on the phone of Longwe, because Longwe had sent Zandi an SMS saying I'm outside, and that time Khumalo put it and said this time says
it's
17 something.
And Steyn came and said no.
Steyn ati no.
And we agreed. We said okay, fine. We concede. Because we are chasing what?
Ati plus 2 hours. And then 2 plus 2 hours later means that Longwe came there sometime just before 7.
Yes.
1850 something.
And
if I remember
changed
correctly.
The narrative of the story. Because now, also, the main purpose of that story was that the question of when Senzo actually was shot. That was the gist of this. I'm telling those who were not here when we were analyzing from the
documentary.
Bar, the documentary.
The bar.
Because many people started, they got on this train when it was already moved. We started with the documentary. So we started analyzing this.
Even Botiti tried to bring it up and advocate for in the courtroom.
Yes.
And this was before Steyn came to testify. And then when Steyn came to testify, Steyn told us about plus 2 hours.
Yes. So
that
it
he
changed
added
everything. It changed everything. Then we're like, okay.
And now that plus 2 hours is coming back to bite.
Yes. Later. Very late. Then we're like, okay, sharp. We understand. that 2 hours, some of people, when the calls were telling us, no guys, it could be true, I know the thing of 2 hours and whatnot and
Yeah,
whatnot.
some people said they knew it. We accepted it.
Okay, we accepted it. We accepted it. I mean, I was always suspecting. But now Steyn has just done what we did not think of. In fact, he volunteered.
Can I be
the
excused?
information. After that, he just volunteered the information that actually put him under the bus because, wow, I'm not going to tell you what. Just stay with us and listen until we finish. But
can I be excused?
The first allegation was that Senzo could have been shot around 7 or around 6. He shot around 6.
Around 6.
Yes, that was our estimation, around 6. And then, a theory was thrown out. Even Tifo was canvassing the theory also.
Yes.
It was thrown out because Steyn came and said, no.
Plus 2 hours.
Plus 2 hours. Now, the question is, after this, do we then take that plus 2 hours as a matter of fact, or do we take it with a pinch of salt? Because today, that 2 hours has exposed itself. Damn God. It has just exposed itself.
Wonderfully so. Can't think I saw Lamina plus 2 hours. Initially, when we were evaluating states,
it didn't make sense.
I was like, yeah. This 2 plus 2 hours left.
So we what do we do in this situation? We go back to the conspiracies, the beginning. We reset, we refactor, like Steyn. We reboot, if you like it. We go back to that theory of it could be that Senzo actually was shot around 6 or 6:30 around that time. Which then begs the question, what the hell were they doing until 9?
Because they took him to the hospital around 9.
Because that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. So, subscribe, guys. Like the video. Become a member like Sifisokuhle Ntuli. Thank you. Welcome. I'm sure you're welcoming back, Sifisokuhle. I think you've been here. I'm not sure, but yeah, we know for sure that you are a member. Mamzita present. We see you. You are present. Yes. So, Emil, let us continue now. Now that we have clarified where that 2 hours came from and how did it come about, it was an issue of how then do you explain the situation of keeping someone who's shot
for a long
allegedly from 6:30 to 9. What were you doing? And you didn't even call the police in any case.
What were you doing?
What were you doing? You didn't wait for an ambulance. It's not like you called an ambulance.
While the hospital was 15 minutes away with a car.
We reset. We digress. Let's continue.
Well, I'm going to start at the beginning of what happened in the court proceedings today. Hi, everyone. Welcome back, family, to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. This is where we deliberate on the court proceedings of the Senzo Meyiwa trial, for our understanding. Yes. Advocate Baloyi continued with the evidence in chief of Colonel Lamberto Steyn today, and he said to Steyn, you said you received the downloads of Miss Kelly Khumalo from Sergeant Mushwana. And Steyn said yes. Baloyi asked him in what format, and Steyn said it was an external disk. Steyn said,
that's right there. I don't think that was genuine. And you'll see why.
Why?
He's accepting that he received it from Sergeant Mushwana. Later, he received it from Keninda.
Steyn said that the download was by Sergeant Mushwana, and Baloyi asked him, turn to page 17 of your affidavit. Is that the information you say we didn't print? And Steyn said yes, and he said here is the device information also. So he said that there are the device APPs and contact list as well in that page or part of the affidavit. So Steyn said that this is the calls that they downloaded from the phone. And Steyn said you can also find the messages and SMSs. Mshololo said that they needed to check the information, or was rather asking the court for permission to check the information to see if it's the same that was given to them. Good call by Mshololo there, because you know what is happening with the PDF and the Excel. Things are not exactly carbon copies of each other. Somewhere, somehow, there are discrepancies. So she's alert. And Steyn said that he could not open the CD. And the judge said, okay, open it. The judge even asked Steyn if it was for security reasons. Why can't that he can't open the CD, which is encapsulated in his computer?
No, these smart computers, when Fagazile, they don't have that thing. They don't have a CD-ROM, whatever that you may call it. Yes. They are new.
I get. Well, it's also very surprising that they still insist on working with discs in 2024. It's about Steyn. Like they didn't want to let go. They didn't want to evolve. Well, Steyn said that the new computers don't have CD players. Then Baloyi said that it's about compatibility. Then Steyn said that he was referred, or rather he referred everyone to the screen which had the CD information beamed. And then Steyn said that you can see that the date it was downloaded by Sergeant Moshwana, and the date was 2014-10-27 at 6:53 a.m. This is a day after the incident took place, and the device type is ZTEV795 and the phone number ends with 4358. So this is the device that belonged to Kelly Khumalo, and the judge said that's what's contained in the disc, and Steyn said yes. And Baloyi told him that you testified you received the section 205 of Ms. Khumalo in what format? And Steyn said that he received it as a CD. Well, the state was then done with clarification, and then Ngomezulu, representative for accused number 1, started with his cross-examination. Ngomezulu said that, or started off by asking Steyn, and he told him that he had a look at Steyn's affidavit, and he was even checking the contents and the wording of that affidavit. And he said that it told him that Steyn was with someone when he was preparing that affidavit. And he asked him if he agreed or not, and Steyn was like, no, I don't agree. Ngomezulu then said, neither were you influenced. And Steyn said, no, he was not influenced. Now, this was dancing around that whole mentioning of the fact that the affidavit was rewritten last week, Thursday, and it was commissioned in Pretoria, while Steyn is based in Cape Town.
Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why Ngomezulu said he was with someone?
Or wanted to check.
No, it's a manner in which this affidavit is drafted. It shows and it smells a lawyer. Why? Because a normal person, a lay person, in my opinion, like Steyn, when it comes to these things of POPIA Act, they wouldn't have included that. That is to, we have seen it before, it has been done. That is to make the process smooth. In fact, you would not ask those questions once you hear that. That's like saying, please don't go to the POPIA Act issue, or please don't go to Information Act as it was around those times. You understand?
Yes.
Which, by the way, it also required, after reading it a bit, it required you consent.
It did it.
So, yeah, that means you needed to have some formal way of a person to prove that the person consented. Because anytime I can come and say, I didn't. So you needed something to be signed. So that's why it was thrown in there. And we know for sure that is someone who's capable of doing that, is someone who's really dealing with those things there, with the issues of how information was obtained. We have learned from a trial within a trial how these things are. So you can hear from Steyn's explaining that it does not actually understand. It is not well vested when it comes to these things of act. But he had to throw this POPIA Act
in there.
Why?
So it means that kunesandla se lawyer.
Yeah, cleansing. You don't need to get someone to come and testify because there was some signature that was put there for that person consenting. Well, that's basically what this thing was.
Mgomezulu then asked him, you were satisfied with the content? And Steyn said that's correct. Mgomezulu focused on paragraph 4 of Steyn's statement, and he said that before we get on with this, I just want to get the meaning of the wording on paragraph 9. And Steyn said that the court must bear in mind that the POPIA Act was not there in 2014. Steyn said that the POPIA Act was not applicable at the time of the download of the phone. And Mgomezulu asked him, what do you mean by this? And Steyn said that after the POPIA Act came into effect, they needed permission from the owner or the court to work on the phone. Mgomezulu then asked him, now take us through the practical procedure of asking for permission from the person or the court.
Yes.
And Baloyi objected on the basis signature of relevance.
Yes, you need someone saying that I'm giving you the rights to go through my phone. So this information, in a sense, Mgomezulu's gist of the story is that this information could have obtained wrongly. Yes, illegally. So, and then the judge comes and say, since you guys are saying there was no communication between Ntuli but that's not what Mgomezulu is saying. That's the assertion that is put by the state. And Mgomezulu is debunking it on a different direction of the legalities of how the information was obtained in the first place, which then exhausts the issue of whether there was information that is causing a stir there in a form of crime or anything. Once you obtain that information wrong, we have dealt with this, therefore we don't even need to go any further with that information.
Well, Baloyi said that the witness had already indicated that the act was not applicable at the time, and Mgomezulu said that it's relevant because Mr. Baloyi can be patient. He will understand where he's going. If he can just be patient, he will understand where he was headed to, because he wanted the witness to answer on what the process would be if it was applicable. Steyn said that it's a simple answer. You just ask for permission. Just like that. And then Mgomezulu said, you said if the POPIA Act was applicable. My question relates, what procedure needs to be followed? What do you get permission from the owner? What do you need? How do you do it? And Steyn said that there is a form. And Mgomezulu asked him if it's in writing or what, and Steyn said that it was in writing. Mgomezulu asked him, so how do you ask permission from a court?
And that form is not there. You see now why the POPIA Act issue had needed to be ironed out, because that form was not there. It was not accompanied by that form that's saying, I'm giving my whole phone to you to actually go through it.
But then now they are trying to wiggle out of it by saying that the POPIA Act came into effect in 2021, and because it came into effect in 2021, there was no need to ask for such permission. They only did it by word of mouth. So they are wiggling their way out of the POPIA Act.
But then to show that they are actually fine wandering, then they go to say that this was evidence. It was confiscated. That shows that you actually do not know where you stand in terms of how you acquired these cell phones. Now you are claiming that it was part of evidence.
Well, Steyn said that the investigating officer will file an affidavit informing the court about the request. And he said it is the same as when you make a Section 205 application. Then Mgomezulu asked him, do you have a specific provision as when you file a sworn statement? And Steyn said, yes, but you will remember that I do not do that. That is the duty of the investigating officer. He applied for the permission and everything. He did not need the product. So Mgomezulu asked him, now you say that the act was not applicable at the time, but for the benefit of the public, for the benefit of the court of public opinion, there was no need to ask for permission when the act was not applicable. Then Steyn was now starting to get impatient. He said, my lord, I do not know what to answer now because the POPIA Act was not there. It was something you wouldn't even think about.
There was Information Act though, which I'm surprised that you also don't understand, considering that you started doing these things around 1990 something. How were you moving under that act, which is called Information Act?
Well, Mgomezulu said, I want to help you because now that you are retired, you will have time to research this. He said, you said the POPIA Act was not applicable in 2014, and Steyn said that's correct. Mgomezulu asked him, do you know what time this act came into operation? What year? And Steyn said that it was in October of 2021. And he asked him, Mgomezulu, is he sure? And Steyn said, I'm not sure, but as far as I can remember, we did the case in the beginning of October, and we just missed the steps. Mgomezulu asked him if he needed time for the matter to stand down so that he can check the provision, the POPIA Act. And Steyn said that he does not have that information anymore. He's a retired colonel. So because he's retired, he
has rebooted everything in his mind.
He has rebooted everything in his mind. Mgomezulu then asked him, the POPIA Act was made into law in 2013. Do you agree? And Steyn said that he didn't agree. He disagreed, in fact. And the state came in to assist, saying Mgomezulu must show when it was promulgated.
They also didn't know. Mgomezulu
Do you
was
think
right.
They didn't know?
No, they didn't. They were so confused. Part A of that of POPIA Act was already there in 2014, sorry.
I saw on Mr. Google there.
Yes, Part A of Chapter 5, Section 112 and Section 113. That's why they were correcting themselves later.
Well, Baloy
what they were focusing on is the whole POPIA Act as a whole.
As a whole.
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
Promulgated sections by sections.
Yes.
Bit by bit.
Yes.
Not
but then
all of it.
You would realize that when Mgomezulu came back, it did not labor that, because that Part A does not cater for the part that he wanted to labor. Yeah.
So he let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. So Baloy stood up to say that he thought that it was unfair to put it like that without giving the witness specifics of when it was introduced and the journey to it being promulgated. In fact, it came into law on the 1st of July 2021, and not as his learned friend was suggesting. He said it went to different houses of parliament until it was signed by the president and it was officially made into law. The judge flexed, about his relative, Miss Tlakula, was appointed as the administrator of the POPIA Act.
Yeah.
Then there was an argument now on when the POPIA Act came into law. Judge Ratam Khwatleng asked for the documents and he read them aloud, and at the end of it he said that it was actually gazetted on the 1st of April 2021, and he asked Sibanda if he saw that. Yes, Mr. Google is saying over there that POPIA Act was on the 19th of November 2013. That's when it was assented, and the commencement date of section 1
April
2013, is it not 2013? 2014. So the commencement date of Section 1, Part A of Chapter 5, Section 112 and Section 113 was on the 11th of April 2014. It was incented to on the 19th of November 2013 and commenced on the 1st of July 2020. So Mgomezulu asked for this aspect to stand down, and he said that he will proceed with it after lunch or if the need arises, and as we found out, he didn't attend to it. So moving on to another section of his cross-examination, Mgomezulu asked Steyn, you talked about Section 205, and that's where you talked about how to apply for it. When you apply for the Section 205, it goes to court. The court grants the application. Then it goes to the service provider. You then said the TSU provides a reference number and the service provider will grant the Section 205. The service provider will give it to you in a PDF format. He said that I put it to you that the PDF is authentic and original. It is real and authentic. The service provider was granted permission to grant it. And then he said to Steyn, let's look at the integrity of this PDF format. It is a genuine document and cannot be tampered with. Once it is converted into a PDF, the original remains with the PDF. And when you download it, it gets to another stage of being edited. And Steyn said that the possibility was there. Mgomezulu said, so if we go to the affidavit of Faintelingem, Pinky Faintelingem.
Yes.
That information cannot be disputed or changed in any way. And Steyn said he agreed. So Mgomezulu said Faintelingem has already led evidence about the contents of the Section 205, the process of converting that information. And Baloyi said, my colleague is talking about two different concepts, downloading and conversion. Mgomezulu then said, during the downloading and conversion, you are not involved, asking Steyn. And Steyn said, correct. Mgomezulu then asked him, during the downloading and conversion, it requires human involvement. And Steyn said, yes, using a program. He said he did not have that program. And Mgomezulu asked him, once everything is done, you are involved in the analysis? And Steyn said, yes. Mgomezulu said, so you are not involved in the process of downloading? And Steyn said, yes. So Mgomezulu said that he was trying to demonstrate what might have caused the discrepancies of what is in that PDF and what is in the affidavit. So he said to Steyn, you said you received the spreadsheet and the downloads for analysis. Am I correct or am I getting it? Steyn said, maybe you're not getting me. Downloading the Section 205 are two different things. So now he's saying that downloads and the Section 205 are two different things. So Mgomezulu then rephrased his question by asking, when you receive the Section 205 and the downloads for the purposes of analyzing, you were working on a spreadsheet that you received from the investigating officer? And Steyn said, correct. And Mgomezulu asked him, your evidence is that you received these two downloads from Sergeant Mushwana on the 27th of October 2014. Am I correct? And Steyn said, no. The correct one is in his statement. He said he mentioned on page 3 of his first statement that he received the information from Brigadier Kininda, not Mushwana.
You see, that's a contradiction. You talked about Mushwana. Why did you talk about Mushwana?
Why?
Because Kininde was supposed to talk about Mushwana. Maybe Kininde. Maybe, just maybe. Because Mushwana was working with a different investigator, by the way. That must be said. It's a person of no color, right? Yes. Who did all these downloads? Section 205. Yes.
Back in 2014, 2015. Well, Mgomezulu says, thank you, sir. So the downloading was done in 2014 and on the 27th of October. He said, I wanted to find out how many times you analyzed. I was confused because I have the information that you analyzed in 2020. And Steyn said, that's correct. Mgomezulu said, let's look at the period of when it was downloaded and when you analyzed. It means it was done 6 years later. And Steyn said, that's correct. So from the background of Brigadier Kininda, he was appointed in 2018 in this case, and Steyn said that's correct. So Mgomezulu said that he wanted to establish if Steyn knew, if he doesn't know also, it's not a problem that from 2014 up to the time of his appointment, if there was any analysis that was done previously. So Steyn said yes, it was done, but when Brigadier Gininda and his team were appointed, he asked Steyn to assist. Mgomezulu then asked him, you said you were provided with certain numbers by Gininda. Now, is the AMB that governed that system? And Steyn said yes. AMB is that program that he said he was using. And the notebook. Then Mgomezulu said the AMB system is prescribed or governed by a particular legislation. He said he understood it to be an app in the SAPS. And Steyn said it's a program. Mgomezulu then said, is it governed by a particular act passed in parliament? And Steyn said he doesn't know. Mgomezulu then asked him, the reason for you to be called is to clarify two aspects or discrepancies, particularly the two calls. And Steyn said, correct. Mgomezulu asked him, you have already given evidence in August 2023, and now in August of 2024, you are recalled to give clarity on what you testified on in 2023 August. Steyn said, yes, I was proved yesterday that there was no difference from what I gave last year and this year. Really now? Really?
There is a difference.
There are many differences to what he gave last year.
Hence, Mnisi is showing them.
He said, like I mentioned yesterday, the Section 205 is on its own and the downloads are on their own. The 205 is from Vodacom and the SAPS, the downloads is from SAPS. And Mgomezulu asked him any differences between the Section 205s and the downloads. You said it assumes the status of an Excel sheet or spreadsheet after it was being downloaded from the conversion part of it. And Steyn said, when I receive it, it is an Excel spreadsheet, a working document. And Mgomezulu asked him, my concern is that at the time when you received that spreadsheet, did you come across a difference between the 205 and the spreadsheet or your working document? And Steyn said that there wasn't any differences. Yo, Steyn?
They were, because you added a cell phone through internet, a cell phone call through internet.
Data calls.
Yes, they were.
So Mgomezulu asked him, where does this difference come from? Was it at the time when you used the AMB program? And Steyn was not, rather, he was getting defensive here because he wasn't answering properly. He was trying to say that there was no difference between his spreadsheet and the PDF. However, this is what he said. He said, which differences are you referring to now? I did mention in my first statement that I transport the information to an Excel spreadsheet to explain it to the court in a workable, understandable
Once
document.
he gets angry, everything just goes left, because you said you don't do that. You don't transfer anything to Excel.
Yes.
There is someone who did that. Now, all of a sudden, in fact, you even said there's TSU who does that. Now, all of a sudden, you are transferring. What are you transferring? Into Excel sheet. What are you transferring now into? Because you are giving that information, that's your evidence, in Excel format by the TSU or God knows who else. Maybe even that Moshwana works for TSU.
And he goes on to take ownership. He says, that is something I did myself. It's not a difference with the Section 205 or a download like you see in that exhibit that you received yesterday.
Do you see?
I see.
Please press like button.
Flip-flopper, up and down, in and out. Today I did it, tomorrow I did not do it.
Someone else did it.
It's a really confusing situation right now. But we move. And he said it's on this page and that page. And I was like, when Steyn gets like this, I see a color. And Gomezulu said that there is something that bothers him with paragraph 5 of Steyn's statement. He asked Steyn to read an extract from his statement that he received the downloads from Brigadier Gininda, and this was in 2020. And it read like this: I did make mention, or Steyn said or wrote on that affidavit, that I used both the Section 205 and the downloads to explain and use certain terms like MOC and MTC, which means incoming and outgoing calls. So Mgomezulu said paragraph 5 line 5, and there Steyn was reading, and it was saying that Kelly Khumalo was not a suspect but a person of interest. So the number of Ngani, accused number 5, was discovered through e-notice and bank statements. So Mgomezulu asked him, I was concerned about the line where you say Kelly was not a suspect, but you said that she was a person of interest. What do you mean by that?
Again, why Mgomezulu started by saying you were not alone. Let me give you the story and the background of this. Initially, we had a theory, conspiracy theory, allegedly, that it was all going well with your Zandis and Kellys. They were told that you guys are going to be allegedly people of interest, but that's it. You are not suspects. And that's this part of emphasizing Kelly was not a suspect, but a person of interest. It later changed during this case when things, I don't know who didn't want to do what, and then somewhere somehow someone started throwing someone under the bus. That's allegedly, that's my thinking. You know, we had that also assumption. So it was all going well. That's why they kept on emphasizing that was the case, that was the case. But now it seems as if everything has changed, because now they are calling Kelly the suspect in a sense. They are saying he colluded with accused number 5 and the accused. That now it changed the theory. Continuing.
Well, Steyn said that Kelly was one of the people in the house, and she was one of the witnesses, or one of their witnesses at that stage. So witnesses are now referred to as persons of interest. I thought that a person of interest was a suspect, but I digress. Maybe you guys can assist in enlightening me in that point, because I thought a suspect was a person of interest, but a witness in Steyn's version is a person of interest. Then Mgomezulu said that in paragraph 6 you speak about the rebooting of the cell phone. So is there a difference between resetting or rebooting? And Steyn said that it's actually the same, but the download machine will read it as reboot. And then I'm like, Ivan. So Mgomezulu continued to ask him, because I'm sure this was puzzling. He asked him, so if you reboot, do you switch off the device? And Steyn said no. You go to your factory settings in your cell phone, and then you ask your phone to delete everything on your phone. Isn't that formatting? Isn't there another term that can be used for this instead of rebooting? Because now when I think rebooting, I'm thinking restarting the device. That's what I'm thinking. And when I restart, nothing gets deleted that has been saved on the device. It doesn't get deleted. So Mgomezulu then said during the rebooting process, that information cannot be captured by the 205s, that the cell phone was rebooted. And Steyn said no. Mgomezulu said, so you were adamant that there was communication between Kelly and accused number 5. And Steyn said that is correct. He still insists, you guys, that there was communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. Mgomezulu wanted to return to the aspect of the POPIA Act. He said that his main focus was on that aspect, The judge offered to give Mgomezulu his relative's number, Miss Tlakula, who is the administrator of the POPIA Act. You know, he wanted to offer the numbers so that Mgomezulu can call her and ask about the nitty-gritties of the POPIA Act. But Mgomezulu said that that was not necessary. He said that he needed about an hour to go through his research. He said he done his own research. He just needs to go through it. Mgomezulu said that he did not want to read the act per se, but he wanted to gather or to get from what he had gathered when it was promulgated, because it was promulgated in piecemeal. So there are certain parts that dealt with that were dealt with and came into action in 2014, and that part of the legislation, he wanted to know if it covered the aspect that he wanted to get into with his cross-examination, which might be relevant to the questions that he wanted to impose. While the judge insisted that Mgomezulu must go read S versus Cooper also. Don't know how that was going to happen with an hour, but he insisted that Mgomezulu read a whole case in the time that Mgomezulu had said to read the POPIA Act.
Because he was there, because he was there on the judgment.
Oh, he was there.
That's what he's saying.
Okay. So after that adjournment, court resumed and Mgomezulu withdrew his question on the POPIA Act. Mgomezulu asked Steyn if there was any law applicable before the POPIA Act which authorizes you take the device without permission.
Yes, there was.
And Steyn said, yes, we took it as an exhibit from the crime scene.
No, that's not the law. That's a different situation. But yeah, there was a law. It's a long thing. I tried the readings.
And then Mgomezulu said, and you further confirmed that there was no need to approach any competent court to obtain permission either from the data user or the court. And Steyn said, no. So Mgomezulu said, but are you aware that they still had a right to privacy? Steyn said none of them objected when the phones were taken by Toms. Toms is that other department, technical what in the SAPS. So why is Steyn testifying like he's the one who confiscated the phones? Why is he speaking with such confidence and assurity that, you know what, I was there. They never said no. They never objected to their phones being taken. How come he's so certain? And how come is he willing to speak on that behalf without anything to back him up? While Mgomezulu said that in conclusion of his cross-examination, he said that he will argue later that the rights of Kelly Khumalo and the person she's said to have communicated with, which is accused number 5, were infringed. Baloyi objected, saying that Mgomezulu should lay the basis for that. And Mgomezulu said that there is no formal evidence on the non-objection by that party. He said that this is just an answer from the witness because there's no such evidence. Exactly, there's no evidence coming from Steyn to say that, yes, I did get permission or permission was received for the police to confiscate these phones of these people. Okay. That would be helpful. Maybe there was a sign, a form that they filled in and they signed just before they took their phones. But he doesn't have it with him. And he's making things a little bit more complicated for himself because he testifies on things that he does not know or have. And he said that because there is no such evidence from Mgomezulu, this is what I'm going to argue at a later stage, that they infringed the rights of these persons in terms of Section 35, subsection 5. And the judge said, which rights are those? And Mgomezulu said that the communication was obtained unlawfully. The judge said that he thought that accused number 5 said that he did not communicate with Ms. Kelly Khumalo. Now, how is that reconcilable? Ngomezulu said, "My lord, I'm saying that this is what the state is saying, but I will argue that at a later stage." And that is when Ngomezulu decided to wrap up his cross-examination. Next onto the scene was Ramosipile, representative or legal counsel for accused number 2. He started by reading Steyn's affidavit that he testified to last year in August. And he read it, and it said that on the 9th of April 2020 at about 10, Steyn received a CD, Section 205, and cell phone downloads from Investigating Officer Brigadier Gininda with the information about the following targets. The CD. Now, Ramosipile was asking him about this CD in particular, and he asked him if it was handed and what did it contain. So Steyn said that it was only one CD, or it was not only one CD. He said that it was a CD for the Section 205, another CD for the downloads. So it was 2 different CDs, if not more, or multiple CDs. The way he was explaining it, it was like Section 205 had CDs and downloads had their CDs. So Ramosipile then said, the 205 that you received, is it being alleged that Kelly Khumalo used about 6 or 7 numbers, okay? But he read out the numbers that he said were there, and there were 4 in particular that Ramosipile said he was interested in. The first one ending with 6669, and he said to belong to Zandi Khumalo. Another one ending with 0436, it belongs to Longwe Twala. The other one ending with 2498 and another one ending with 4358. Both of them, they belong to Kelly Khumalo. And he asked Steyn if those Section 205s were there for only those 4 numbers. Apparently, these numbers are from Vodacom, according to the subpoenas that were issued. Several numbers from the other mobile network providers were also requested. And Steyn said that he did receive more than this 4 that Ramosipile was asking about. So Ramosipile then asked Steyn, in your previous testimony, you testified that the duty was to identify any linkages between the suspect and the people that were in the house at the time of the commission of the offense. And Steyn said correct. So Ramosipile then told Steyn that in paragraph 5, Steyn stated how he identified the numbers of Kelly Khumalo. And he read from it, and it said that during Steyn's analysis, Steyn said that he identified the following numbers which belonged to Kelly Khumalo, and it had Kelly Khumalo's ID number there, which was not mentioned. And he said that he can prove via links with family, friends, XDS, which is a system that he spoke of in his initial testimony, the Central Database Reference, eNatis, and Truecaller. So in respect of the 8773 number, the number ending with 8773, next to it, Steyn wrote 7th of 5, 2018, the 7th of May, 2018. And they asked Steyn if he got a Section 205 for this particular number. Steyn said no, because it was older than 3 years and they couldn't apply for it.
Yes, guys, this reminds you, please like the video, subscribe, and become a member. Thank you very much for those who have done so. And Chuku Anna, get better soon. I see you're saying you're not feeling well. Get better soon.
Please get better.
Get better and still be with us. So, yes, please, Emily, continue.
Take care of yourself. Sit in the bed. Get well soon, very soon, Chuku Anna, okay? So yes, and also they asked Steyn about this number ending with 8773, and Steyn said that it had been 3 years, or it was older than 3 years, so they couldn't apply for the Section 205. Steyn said that the date, which was the 7th of May 2018, the one that Ramasipili had mentioned, was next to this specific number. He said that it is the time that Kelly used the cell phone number as a reference, or the date where she used the cell phone number as a reference.
Yeah.
So Ramasipili asked, are we able to tell whether Kelly used this phone on the 26th of October 2014? And Steyn said no, because he did not have the Section 205 for this particular number. So Ramasipili asked him, then you say she used it at the police station where she was a victim of theft. And Ramasipili also went on to another number which ended with 6730, and the date there, the reference date, was the 3rd of May 2017, and another one ending with 2104, and the reference date was the 8th of April 2017. And he asked whether those Section 205s were obtained for these two particular numbers, and Steyn said no, because he was involved in the case in 2020. So the 3-year period had lapsed. So Ramasipili then asked him that in terms of your previous testimony, was that the Section 205s were already requested by the previous investigating team for the team of Brigadier Gininda, but that it was stored in the central database of the SAPS? So it was already there. You need to apply for it again in 2020. You do not need to do that, right?
What is it?
Like the Section 205s.
No.
He was asking Steyn.
It's there on the archive.
Yes, whether they're there on the archives or he needed to apply.
That's what Pinky said.
He needed to apply again for them, or they are already on the database of the SAPS or on the system of the SAPS. And Steyn said, yes, that's correct. They are already on the system of the SAPS. So the way he's speaking is almost as if he started from scratch with finding the SAP, the Section 205s for all of these numbers. Especially when it comes to mentioning the 3 years have lapsed and stuff like that. That's not his duty to request Section 205s. It becomes his duty when it's convenient or when he's trying to allegedly cover up something. It's very weird. He shouldn't be speaking on the time lapsing of the Section 205s. He should not supposed to be knowing that information. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he should be concerned about what is in front of him.
So now he's acting and testifying as if he's the one who asked for the Section 205s from Vodacom. Do you see where the problem is with Steyn?
Yes.
So Ramasipili then asked him if the Section 205s for the numbers we are talking about were obtained in 2014, then it means that the records can be archived for purposes of litigation by the SAPS. And Steyn said that's correct. They went on to another number ending with 1447, and the date was the 28th of March 2017. And he asked whether a Section 205 was obtained, and Steyn said no. The next pertinent number is the number ending with 2498, and he said that he didn't need to ask about this one because they know of the Section 205 and it was obtained because this number in particular has been brought up in court. And Ramasipili then went on to a landline with the number ending with 1179. And he asked Steyn if sometimes they obtain Section 205s on landlines. And Steyn said that's correct. So no Section 205 was obtained according to Steyn's knowledge of this landline number. So Ramasipili then said the last number is also pertinent to this case ending with 4358, which is the number that is in question right now, the number that is said to belong to Kelly Khumalo that contacted accused number 5. And the reference date there was the 27th of August 2012. And he said, I know a Section 205 was obtained for this number. And Steyn said yes. And then Ramasipili said that on the 26th of October, were there any activities on the 4358 number? Now, this is the number that's said to belong to Kelly Khumalo. And Steyn said from 1407, there were no activities on the phone. Now, the 26th of October, you guys, is the date of the incident. So they are saying, or Steyn is saying, that from 1407, there were no activities on that particular number. So Ramasipili then asked him until when, and Steyn said until the end. So the whole day, this particular cell phone number did not have activities.
Only an SMS? Or before the 26th?
Yes.
Just like the video, guys. Please like the video. See, Mamela is nice saying, if I could like for everyone, I would.
Please like the video, guys.
Let's not make her like 700 times. Just like the video.
Like the video.
I know it does happen that you come late and then you forget because you are late. You just go straight to where you want to. Ramsipuli's cross-examination was on point because this is technology. I think it's very strong when it comes to cross-examining, when it comes to technology. He does his research properly. I did expect him to be strong.
And he's the one who brought up the towers.
Yes.
Zavele zashaya Steyn dizzy. Zavele zamot neli tula maboda. What is happening? Well, the police had the phone, is what Steyn was saying. So now here's a problem with this particular phone that is said to have been confiscated by the police. So Ramasipili asked him that because during that night, the police had the phone, according to Ramasipili's version. He asked Steyn if there were any activities on the 25th. This is the day before the incident. Now Steyn said that the number did receive an SMS. This is Kelly's number. It received an SMS. So Ramasipili asked him, when was the 4358 seized by the police and what time? And Steyn said that he wasn't sure about that. So as far as he knew, Sergeant Mushwana and Colonel Natling are the ones who took phones that night and took this particular phone that night. So Ramasipili then recalled on Zandi's testimony, where Zandi testified that upon the return from Butsilong Hospital, their phones were taken upon their arrival. So he was literally saying to Steyn that in his testimony, he says that there was a reboot, which means the user or the owner attempted to delete all of the information in that phone. And Steyn confirmed and said it's correct. So Ramasipili then said to him that you put the time of boot up at 1 a.m. And according to the testimony of Zandi, because they returned from the hospital between 11 and 12 or 00 a.m., this is midnight, the phone was already with the police. So the user or owner could have been the person that rebooted it. Steyn said he could not testify when the phone was taken. So this is quite interesting because according to Zandi's testimony, estimation of them having their phones being taken was after midnight. But now the phone was rebooted at 1 a.m. So who rebooted the phone? Did Kelly Khumalo do it herself? Or did she get assistance? Or did somebody else reboot that phone? But they wanted Ramasipili to tell them where Zandi testified to this, and the judge said that she never did. How? Did she now? The judge said that Zandi never testified about the rebooting. Hey, yeah, dribble. Yeah, but I was like, okay, so Zandi never testified about the time when they came back from the house. No, actually, the judge was now given the responsibility of the rebooting to Zandi now. He was saying, but Zandi never testified about the reboot. But that's not what Ramasipili was talking about. Ramasipili even pointed it to him that I was talking about the seizing of the device being taken when it comes to Zandi. I'm not talking about rebooting, you know. And then Ramasipili then went on to say, I was perplexed that you said someone is trying to wipe their phone. With my little understanding, reboot means to switch off, then on. Boot up means going to the settings, then wiping out the phone. If I want to delete memory, I go to factory settings and delete. But a boot up means that I'm switching on a phone that was sleeping. And Steyn said that he can't agree to that. I mean, I thought that is my understanding as well. But turns out things are very different here in this court. Ramasipili now said that he will focus on the so-called runaway phone. That's the number ending with 2498. Now, this is the number that is said to have been allegedly taken from Kelly on that night. And he said, you testified last year that the last activity on this phone was at 21:52:57 and the tower was Muleleki Tower. And Steyn said that's correct. Ramasipili said you testified that Muleleki Tower is in the vicinity of the Basotho hostel. The judge asked Ramasipili to give Steyn a map. He said that they were all in the dark until they saw the map. So Steyn also needed to see that map. The distance between Basotho Hostel and Muleleki Tower is about 4.7 kilometers. And they asked Steyn if he could see that, and he said yes. So Ramasipili said that the state's theory is that runaway phone signal died when it reached the hostel. And according to Fine-Tillingam, there were about 3 towers in the vicinity of Basotho, and Muleleki Tower is not one of them. He said the towers that Fine-Tillingam said were in that vicinity are clinics, Fosleras and Bopang Khozo. Muleleki is further than Basotho Hostel. And Steyn said it's possible that the strongest tower was picked up. The phone was moving, so it will pick up the strongest. So it's possible. So here is Steyn now coming on with the theory of, devices bouncing through towers. And I remember on the channel, we did say that it is a possibility because I have experienced it. But then Pinky said that's not possible. How many of you guys remember that? Pinky said that is not possible. She testified, she swore, she was on that stand and she said that is not possible. And I remember arguing with Pinky over that in my head on the show to say that, but Pinky, how? Because that actually happens. But then Pinky said that's not possible. Ramasipili then said we'd have to determine the coverage of Muleleki. And Steyn said that it's possible because it's an SMS. And an SMS may use a different tower. Haibo Steyn, to relieve the load on the other tower. I'm like, oh, so towers now get full. Yeah, see, I'm hearing theories here that I need confirmation of. I cannot live my life believing what these people are saying in that courtroom. I feel like I cannot live my life believing Steyn at this point. So I need confirmation. People who work with towers, please assist. So the state now objected to Ramasipili's questioning here. They said that he's re-examining Steyn on his previous evidence and notes that he was only here to deal with 2 calls. You know what the funny thing is? In the examination in chief, but I did not deal with these 2 calls. It's like he did not deal with these 2 calls, you guys. We still don't have an explanation of how Steyn was able to have different cell numbers from the PDF in his Excel work or spreadsheet. And now Bello is objecting and saying, no, we are here to deal with those two. Yo, guys, I gag. I feel like the more they go, the more it just becomes worse. It just becomes maybe clearer. So the court overruled Baloyi and said that Ramasipili can continue. The judge said that Pinky Faintilingam said that if another tower is overworked, then it will go connect to another tower. Guys, come on. I don't remember Pinky saying that. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Did she not say that this was not possible? How many of you still remember that? Ramasipili then said that he could remember even the difference between rural and urban areas. He also requested for an expert engineer to maybe come and explain to them which towers were there in 2014, because not all towers were there in the year of 2014. He said that towers are commissioned and decommissioned. Then the judge kept quiet after that. Watula ge Judge Fagazile. Why tulela nje? And then they moved on. Okay, and that wrapped up Ramasipili's cross-examination. So after the long adjournment, court resumed with Ramasipili seeking more clarity about more aspects. He fetched the record where Steyn was testifying on the towers. Now, this is where the tower dribbling situation came in. Ramasipili asked Steyn about his previous testimony where he said that Muleleki Tower was in the vicinity of a hostel. Ramasipili said, you said the 3G Muleleki Tower was in the vicinity of a hostel. Which hostel? And Steyn said that he wasn't sure about the name of the hostel. He said he only knew that it was in the vicinity of a hostel. Guys, come on. Steyn was so sure the first time, spoke with confidence that was Basuto Hostel. Now today he's telling us that it was a hostel. He wasn't sure which hostel it was. Aibo, guys. What is going on in this case? I was like, why did he come back? Because now he looks worse than he did when he testified the first time around. Now it's just worse. Then Steyn said that Pake and Muleleki, those two towers are very close to each other. And then Ramasipili was officially done. Mnisi stood, okay? And Mnisi did not come here to play. Mnisi was wrestling in the mud with Steyn. It was like this. It was bad. It was bad. It was. And when I heard Steyn, I think, can I be excused? It was game over. But then let me quickly go over it. Mnisi said that in the stack of documents, he wanted Steyn to show the calls that were made after the incident that took place between accused number 5 and Kelly. And he asked him to be patient and take his time. Steyn said, I only have section 205 until the 27th. I do not have calls. After that, Steyn said that he only had until the 27th and went to check on Pinky's section 205. So he said that someone will come tell this court that there are calls that were made between accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. That would be wrong if someone were to do that. And Steyn said that would depend on the section 205 if it's in their possession. Mnisi then said, let me be very direct. Let me be very direct to you. Your affidavit where you say Kelly Khumalo's number had communication on 2 different occasions before and after the incident. We mentioned one on the 2nd of August and another one on the 15th of October, which is the reason why I asked you to show me the calls that were made after the incident, and you said such calls never happened. Then I was like, Steyn. So Steyn forgot his own evidence. Steyn forgot about the call that was made after the incident. The incident happened on the 26th of October. And these phone calls where he said Kelly called accused number 5. One he said happened on the 2nd of August 2014, and another one happened on the 15th of October. So now today he's being asked to find the 15th of October phone call, and Steyn completely forgot, and he said there was no phone call that took place after the day of the incident. Our court, Steyn, he forgot his own evidence, you guys. He forgot his own evidence. Then Mnisi said, what caused this typing error? And Steyn said he does not know. It was a typing error. So on his initial affidavit, he wrote that there were no calls that took place after the incident between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. This is a mess. This is a mess, and the more they want to fix it, the more of a mess it becomes. It's bad. Then Mnisi said, you are only realizing now that it's a typing error. And Steyn said that's correct. Asked if he did not realize the typing error when testifying last year. Steyn said that he did not read his statement line by line. He said he was speaking from his head. Was Steyn speaking from his head the first time I remember complaining about the fact that they always have these affidavits that they testify with. Or maybe Steyn was indeed testifying, but I don't remember that. I remember him coming with a lot of information, and I remember him standing for a very long time on that witness box. And he had a lot of paperwork with him. So as for him speaking from his head, I don't know, I'm not sure. Asked if it didn't occur to him that he needed to correct the typing error, Steyn said no. Even during re-examination, it did not occur to him to correct that typing error. So Mnisi then asked him, is it correct that the state asked you a question with regards to the 2-hour rule? Did I hear correctly that you said you forgot to add the 2-hour rule? Steyn said yes. Mnisi then asked him, in what aspect did you forget to apply this rule? And Steyn said that on the information of the downloads. Mnisi said, what aspect did you forget to add that 2-hour rule? Mnisi referred him to a table there on his affidavit on page 23. And Steyn said, no, that is an extraction. Mnisi zoomed in to where the 2 hours was forgotten in the table. And on 2240, he said he added 2 hours, and then it became 000, or rather midnight. Mnisi then said, where exactly? Baloyi now objected or raised, I don't know what to call it. He said that he wanted to inform the court that he indicated that in the time was staying. So now Baloyi moved on from that to actually helping Steyn testify, in my opinion, because now he mentioned that, okay, when you add the 2240, it now becomes 0040, and the judge said that he must say 20 past instead of saying 2240 or 20 to say it in the old-fashioned manner. Mnisi somehow was puzzled at all of these things that were taking place, because honestly speaking, Baloyi was testifying on behalf of Steyn. He was testifying on behalf of the witness, in my opinion. Okay, because there was no need for him to do the calculations for the witness. I'm sure they are more than capable of doing it for themselves, but there he was doing it for Steyn. And Mnisi said that he was no longer sure if this was an objection or what, because the state was now taking over the leading of the witness. The judge asked if it was an objection or a correction, and Baloyi said that the witness had already answered that question repeatedly, and it became 0040 when the 2 hours were added. Baloyi now referred them to a record of the 27th of July 2023 when Steyn was testifying. The look on Mnisi's face, he even said objection. This is totally irregular.
Yeah, disgusting. It is very disgusting.
You guys.
It is very disgusting to say this. But the errors, man, guys, the errors.
The mistakes are too many now. They are piling up.
So you start by saying that there are no numbers that you said. Remember Steyn was adamant that there was a call after.
Yes.
Hence the bag. We even assume that issue of bag, similar bags, whatnot and whatnot.
Yes.
That's how maybe money was fetched and all that. We had a lot of theories as to why in Danzi. There were a lot of questions, only to find that there were no calls after. Even though the number is wrong, still there were no calls after.
There are no calls.
Why did you feel the need to make that error?
The mistakes are too many.
That's the first one.
They have become worse and worse. It's looking bad. It's looking terrible. I wish they could stop.
He got away with it. He came back.
He came back.
He cannot get away
Why? Make me numb.
All these errors, you could have rectified them somewhere. During the cross-examination, during the defense time with you, you could have rectified them. And you kept on saying there was a call after.
But at least it seems like there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
Why are you saying that?
These mistakes are too much, are too many.
The 2 hour issue, I wanted to label that point. The 2 hour issue, I don't think you just add the 2 hour.
What do you think
when a
happens?
cell phone is coming from.
What do you think happens?
The same I would say country. Don't add that 2 hours.
There's no need.
There's no
to
need
add
to
2
add
hours.
that 2 hours.
You start adding Boma hour when it's different time zones in a different country, on a different part of the world.
That 2 hour thing was just made up, in my own opinion, to cater for that situation.
Why would you need to add 2 hours if Vodacom is in South Africa taking data from South Africa? Everything is South Africa. Why are we adding 2 hours?
That's what I'm trying to say. It just doesn't make sense.
It never made sense from the beginning. It never did. So now you are entangled. You are in an entanglement now, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you're like, gonna be excused. Mnisi, it's fine. You are excused. The judge is like, no, Mr. Steyn knows the law. He's been a witness in court for 30 years.
It doesn't matter, man. The guy is just, I don't know, man.
I God. No ways. This is happening. Like, this is so shocking. At the same time, it's like, I can't believe this is happening in a court of law. How are we supposed to take a court serious after this? Like, what is going on in South Africa? Guys, no way. Like, what is going on? Ngampela, is this a dream? Are we dreaming?
No, it's not a dream. Then you have a judge that is, the judge is like, he believes it. So now, how do you, after adding that 2 hours, how do you change the towers?
That is a predicament that now Steyn finds himself in.
So how do you move the towers? It's
Now
like
you must
video,
move
guys.
the towers now. And make
It's
them
like the
plus
video.
2 hours.
And that's a serious problem because now he's saying you must move the tunnel according to section 205. Is that the procedure? Is that what they do all the time? They move. Because Bella, if you move time, that means you must go physically move the tower.
I can't get him go Steyn. I'm over that man. He must,
No, man.
he must just, no, he must leave us alone at this point. There's no way. Like, there's no way.
A decent enough.
Ipejari ikhona South Africa.
Equally on South Africa. A decent judge would have came back and said, no, this case, it has no merits, man. It's an embarrassment to the court.
Justice Mlambo.
It's an embarrassment. Why are you calling Justice Mlambo? For what? What are you calling that man for? My opinion. For what?
He was the one talking about getting phone calls that Bobella was drinking tea. Or what was in a white cup. Bello, who can call him and...
Call him for what?
Oh, Amanda, how long are they going to stretch this? Because at this point, Pejari, where's Pejari? We need to see something
No one
happen.
can go perjure themselves. It's okay.
Hi, but Mnisi meant business today. I was proud of Advocate Mnisi today.
Do you think at some
he meant
point when
business.
Malema was in conversation with Mlambo, I felt bad.
Nah, that interview was hectic. I remember it. Ooh.
But actually, I think,
That interview was bad.
in my opinion, I think it's okay. I'm not gonna say more.
Malema was on him.
No, I think it's okay. You can have this. This is a circus.
South Africa, guys, we are seeing things
Imagine
that really
then-
scare. That are scary. It's very scary that people can boldly lie like this. Boldly, in my opinion. Allegedly. Well, yeah, finishing off on what Baloyi was saying, or what Mnisi was saying to Baloyi, because now Baloyi was referring to the transcripts and really becoming a mouthpiece for Steyn, you know, and the look on Mnisi's face, he even said, objection, this is totally irregular, and the judge said it's not. He said that he cross-examined the witness, and Baloyi will have an opportunity to re-examine him. He needs to take the points and then he will re-examine the witness. He said this is highly irregular and unethical as well because he knows his responsibilities. He
Baloyi
can't
can
do
stand up
that
and
while
testify.
he's
For
cross-examining a
heaven's
witness.
sake, that is more like testifying to me. I'm not a lawyer. Don't quote me on that.
He was saving Steyn. He was literally speaking on his behalf there. You know, it was so weird. Baloyi said that Mnisi is always acerbic. And he thought that it's about time that he should be called to order.
Oh,
Called to
well.
order for what?
Oh, well, expect somewhere, somehow, Mnisi to be pushed to the limits. Do expect that.
But whom? Called to order for what? Who's doing a wrong thing here? Mnisi is not doing anything wrong. You are the one who's speaking on Steyn's and becoming his mouthpiece because you can see that he's literally drowning.
That's how Tifo was made. I'm just saying.
He said that they always extend the courtesy to him as a court official, and it's expected of him that he should do the same. This sounded like a threat. This sounded like a threat.
The guy...
This sounded like he was threatening Advocate Mnisi. Now that I look at it, it does sound like a threat.
It did.
And Mnisi said that he
Hello?
can't keep quiet when he sees something wrong happening. And then he simply keeps quiet for the sake of being an ethical person. Wrong is wrong. Courts are governed by certain procedures. The least he can do is to address the issues that come in his re-examination. So the judge now said that this is not a court of tricks and technicalities. He said that he thought that they wanted the court to be empowered with the truth. So he sees nothing wrong with what Baloyi was doing.
Disgusting. Mdala disgusting.
He said Baloyi stood up to assist because Mnisi and Steyn were not understanding each other. What kind of an objection
and
did
the funny
Baloyi
thing,
raise,
yes,
Judge?
Tembis, he warned them. He warned them that you are almost halfway on the grave. Any step further than this, you are going 100 feet under.
And now it's happening. Literally, they are sinking. Steyn is sinking. He's sinking. He's sinking.
So I
don't know.
expect problems to come eventually for Mnisi. I do.
Well, Mnisi said that it is also unethical when a party realizes that the witness that they have called has got some discomfort in answering questions and that party stands up in order to rescue the situation. That is unethical as well.
That's how DIF was made.
Guys, let's pray for Advocate Mnisi. Let's pray for him. He's going to need it.
It's no longer about Senzo, man, in my opinion. This case is low.
And you know, I saw Advocate Baloyi laugh. And I know
he was
that
not
laugh.
laughing. He was not laughing. He has done it before. I saw it.
I know it. With Tifo.
Yes.
It reminded me of how uncomfortable he was made. And now we are in a situation where we don't even know where Advocate Tifo is. Is he still practicing or we don't know? So Mnisi said, how should we now read the table after the correction has been made? And Steyn said that it must be read from the 3rd of August 2014, 004047. The second one is the 15th of October 1933-57. Mnisi then said, is it so that you prepared this information yourself and that you started with the draft before you could send it out? And Steyn said, yes. Mnisi said, is it also correct that you consulted with the state before the trial? And Steyn said, yes. Mnisi said, I've counted more than 5 times where you could have realized that you made a mistake and make amends. And Steyn said, I don't agree with you.
What? That didn't need an agreeing. He was just telling you, duh.
Well, Steyn said, I did make statements and it was parked. I did not read it every day. I testified 2 years later.
This thing of bringing experience, 7 years, 30 years, of testifying.
Mnisi said,
it brings another question. How many people have you made an error on and they're in jail?
They're sitting in jail right now.
I mean, how many times have you accepted that this
their
is an
lives destroyed? They probably have needed to join a gang to survive.
Exactly.
In the jail. Some of them, it's even worse of a situation. Maybe they may not be here.
That's you can't just make an error about someone's life. Say it's an error. It's an error. They must take it. It's an error. Jesus.
Oh, hi. No kubi. Mnisi said, what I'm trying to show you is that you are being dishonest with the court. And Steyn said, don't put words in my mouth. I'm telling this court that I joined the investigation team in 2020. I've been working on this document since then.
He's the one who said he worked on it and then he didn't have to look at it after that until he came to testify. Now, when shit hits a fan,
don't put words in my mouth.
It's the fans. It's no longer a joke. Now.
Yeah. Shame. Then Mnisi then said, be calm to Steyn, right? And also 2023, 8 o'clock, no month and no date on that statement that he had written. It didn't have a date or the month when it was
Look at how
written. It says 8 o'clock, 2023.
This commission, their fish, some cannot be read, whether it's a place or what. You remember that page?
Yes, there was no name. It said Johan. You don't know whether it's Johannes or Johannesburg.
It's what the judge had to put what he was thinking. He said Johan. Is he the one who said Johan?
Yes.
And then Malloy came back and said Johannesburg.
And it was Hose. It was Hose's testimony, the statement.
Look at these statements, man. Nothing is ever done properly in terms of signing the name and showing yourself. That on its own can be attributed to cooking, allegedly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the Poiki course, allegedly. Well, Baloy said that what counsel is saying is not correct, because now Mnisi was saying that he prepared the document in 2023 and he wanted to know where he gets these 3 years from that he keeps mentioning and keeps talking about when it comes to the Section 205s. Where does he get these 3 years from? And Baloy said that what counsel was saying is not correct. He read the 2 hours where it must be added. And then Mnisi said the state realizes that the road they are traveling in has potholes and you have been called to patch it. Steyn said that he would not agree. He said he put together a statement and he's here to clarify. So Mnisi then put a stop to his cross-examination for the day and said he got a challenge and asked for an adjournment. So we will continue tomorrow with Mnisi's cross-examination. And I expect it to be...
He has done a lot. Honestly speaking, do I expect more?
I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done. Sizobana today. Guys, now I'm done. You can call in. And I would like to ask for permission to go for a body break.
Yeah, let's hear what you guys have to say.
I will return to listen to your phone calls. You guys keep them coming. And please like the video. Please like the video.
They are not liking it. They are not
please like the video because wow.
They are not liking it. I see.
Wow, guys. Wow. We are in a movie. An unending drama series.
Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, today, just a few comments.
Yes.
Firstly, I'll start with Steyn's tone.
Yeah.
There's a tone yalabantu abakama ngezandla mabesicwasa. Yabo, don't put words in my mouth. Yabo, lo tone yokukwada. Yabo, uthi ungakhulumi nami kanjalo. Yabo?
Yeah.
Yabo, ngathi ukhuluma nenja. Yabo? So Leo tone was quite evident in Mese Kuluma with Mnisi. Then the 2 hour nonsense. 2 hours. 2 hours.
That's what
Why
I'm trying
not 3 hours?
I'm trying
Why
to
not 4 hours?
out.
Why not 1 hour? Why the 2 hours?
That's what I'm trying to
clarify law. 2 hours. Where is it coming from? You know. I saw some images today online. I don't know how true it is, but low 2 hours. If you add it, are we adding it to now? They are calling Senzo. You're na 2 hours. Here, very call Senzo and who answer on the Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. You're saying. If those 2 calls exist on these statements are pink, they must exist in a statement sustained. We need to compare those 2. It's okay. Pink from Vodacom says Arthur and Senzo called Meyiwa at these times. Where are those times on their statements?
Pinky live. Pinky live. It does not need an adding.
Yes. So those calls should show up. I don't know if you picked up. Also, Steyn, when he was trying to change the towers, was going back to evidence. Yeah, Pinky.
Yes, he failed.
Why must he go back to evidence? Yeah, Pinky. If Pinky doesn't pick up data usage.
No, he failed. He failed because that's the problem. There is no tower. They push the time to match everything, but in terms of data usage, according to Pinky does pick data usage, but the calls no.
Pinky a million times when she was testifying would say, "Oh, that's data usage." She would say, "That's data usage there. One here, data usage here, phone call here." So how come Pinky here wouldn't pick up this data usage that these guys are saying occurred 2 hours after?
This is a mess.
Oh, it's a complete mess.
It's
a complete mess. And you know the political side of it. All these political parties, we should be picketing outside the courtroom every day because this is nonsense.
It is.
We at inverted commas have the power. We are the people. This is our tax money at the end of the day. Because those lawyers are all being paid by our tax money at First Form Gomezu. It's our money that's being wasted there. These people could be dealing with much more other cases, not this nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
And when I'm hoping we'll see after, I don't know when, but at some point, these guys, even before the defense goes on, they need to apply for this case to be dismissed. Before they put on their defense. Because once they put on their defense, it might kill 375 completely, which is almost dead and buried by the looks of it now. But they need to apply to dismiss this case. The other issue the state has here is they are fighting for their own lives because they might be in trouble as well if for perjury. So if these guys actually win this case, which they'll probably win it on appeal if it carries on, is these guys are going to sue.
Yes, they will.
These guys are going to sue after this, and whether they care or not, but that's also going to be our tax money. Goes back to our tax money.
Yes.
This case needs to end. This is nonsense. And I'm hoping Steyn might not come back today because he said, if I'm not sick, you know, if I'm not sick, I will be Steyn.
No, he's going to come back. Trust him to come back.
But if he doesn't come back, what happens? What happens? Because now Msolo hasn't got. What happens if he doesn't come back?
They wouldn't do that because it would look even more ugly. Yeah.
So I need for Msolo and Khumalo to, when this guy gets angry, they must press him. They must push him down. Mnisi took an adjournment at the wrong time today. You should have pushed him further and further, got him more mad. Because this guy, when he gets mad, you can see because this guy overshares. He answers questions which is not been asked to answer. So if they keep on no, I go 2 hours. 2 hours.
I made my opinion.
2 hours la. Keep on okay, thank you, Mr. Anonymous.
Thank you. I see some of you are saying, hey, this thing of 2 hours. It only makes sense as we were looking at the game when the game started. If you add that 2 hours or something, I will be 2 hours or 3 hours behind. I don't know when it comes to England and other countries, different time zones. But it doesn't make sense in South Africa. Hey, Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm well, my brother. You know, it's so funny. I actually agree with the previous caller. I share the same sentiments as him. He's actually one of my favorite callers as well.
Yes.
Just before I get into it, I just want to give a shout out to one of our listeners. I think his name is Jeremiah. Is it Jeremiah?
Yes.
Yes, I just want to give a shout out to Jeremiah, and I just hope that he's doing okay, because I think in one of the comments in the last I think previous video, he did write that he's doing much better. So I just want to say to him that, we are glad that he's doing okay, and we appreciate everything that he does for the channel as well.
Jeremiah.
Yes, I think that's his name. I don't know if Jeremiah or
no, I see.
Yes.
The one that we talked about previously.
Yes, he did give us an update, and he said that he's doing much better. So we really thank God that he's doing much better, and we hope to see him back in the live chat one of these days.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but getting back to what happened in the court yesterday. Yesterday the Titanic was sinking, but the band was still playing, and Baloyi and the old man and baby Sibanda were actually just sitting around listening to the band playing, but the ship was sinking. It was embarrassing, to be honest. I don't understand why anybody would want to continue with this nonsense, to be honest with you. Mnisi said, there's lots of potholes on the road, and they're just busy trying to fill up the potholes. This is exactly why they brought Steyn back, but I think it just made things worse and worse and worse. The casket was just being lowered slowly into the 24 feet grave, like Mnisi said.
Yes. Yes.
This guy, and the problem with lies is that when you lie, you have to lie some more to cover up for the previous lie. But then when you lie, you gotta have a good memory, and you gotta be a fast thinker as well, which Steyn doesn't seem to have. Yes. Like Steyn's memory is not really good, because he told us something else last year. Now he's coming back and he's saying something totally the opposite of what he said last time. He can't keep up with the lies, and Mnisi was putting gasoline in his butt. Yesterday he was feeling so hot that in the end he just had to cry out and be like, you know what, I want out. I can't do this anymore. And the thing is also, he comes to court and he says, oh, I didn't read what I've written. How can you not go through your affidavit before you come and give testimony?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking to myself that, are these people that bold and think that they are above the law, that, whatever they do, they will get away with it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you come to court, don't prepare, you don't go through your affidavit, and you just think you're going to sit there and just talk nonsense and you're going to get away with it. I mean, if this man has been doing this for 30 years, how many people are sitting in prison because of the mistakes that he's made? Do we now need to go back and review every case that he was involved in to make sure that everything that was in there were no errors? Or are errors conveniently in this case? We need to be worried as South Africans, because we hired these people. These people are our employees. We are paying them.
Yeah.
And is this how they represent us?
They are saying so. They are representing us.
And the thing is also, I think they also have qualified immunity. Because if they mess up like this on the job, they don't get to pay for it. South African people get to pay for it. Oh, yes. So that is why when they do their job, they don't do it with diligence, because they know that they've got qualified immunity. They don't lose their pensions. They retire and go and live on the coast and wake up every morning and smell the waves and the sea, whilst a lot of us are struggling.
Ish.
Guys, something needs to be done about this. But anyway, I won't take much of your time. I love you guys. And yes, I'll see you on the next one. You take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye. Mzansi, hello. Morning my family. Uphi uzandi ngoba umshololo sekacacile uyakhonkotha manje. Sekaqalile uyakhonkotha manje ufuna udog more. Ukhathele amathambo angena nyama. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Njani Mr. Anu?
Siyaphila mfethu njani?
Right, Mr. Jonas love.
Yes, Mr. Jonas.
Yeah, ngikhumbula uJudge Ratha mayebekhuluma nge-judgment lakhe.
Yeah.
Esithi isukela ku-judge ezi-5 asinguye okhuluma so. Ebebizele uSteyn ukuthi azoclarify lezikholo lezi eziyi-2.
Yeah.
Manje mase kumele aclarify. Sekejika manje uthi Mnisi akumelanga akhulume athathe advantage ngaba bantu. Mari bekunguye uqale wathi mele uSteyn azoclarify lento yakhe.
Yes.
And ngizwa kabuhlungu bangiva abantu abaningi bekhuluma bethi uJudge Ratha uzokhupha iverdict against the state because akubonakale kanjalo. Basinikeni i-defense i-credit edeserve.
Yeah.
Because if uJudge Ratha lento bengikhe ngayikhuluma kuqala ngathi uJudge Ratha ufuna ukuthi mayesebona ukuthi uyohluleka azothi nguye ophushe i-defense ukuze ifike la ubasizi. So asifuna abantu abakhuluma ukuthi uJudge Ratha uzotshintsha abe against the state kwi-judgment yakhe. Ikukuthi thina siyabona ukuthi uJudge Ratha uwela kuphi kahle kahle. Masinikeni i-defense le esebenzileyo ukuthi ikhiphe lamanga la awababa.
Yeah.
Avelele.
Yeah.
Siya kupromote umuntu besimbona ukuthi ebethathe advantage nge-defense because ubathathela phansi laba bantu. Akababoni noba basebenza umuntu right kuya ngobaloli noSibanda. So mina into bengiyikhuluma ngithi namhlanje basebenzile futhi abaqale namhlanje kusuka babebeqala le case basebenzile laba bantu ukuze bafike la.
Hayi kakhulu.
So masiyekeni unika i-credit la engafuneki khona. Sinikeni i-defense sikhulumeni iqiniso i-defense isebenzile la.
Yeah.
Period.
Siyabonga
kakhulu.
Siyabonga. Yeah. Mzanzelo.
Morning, Mr. Animas.
Morning. How are you?
Good, I'm good. And yourself?
Not bad, sir.
Emily, how are you?
Not here. She took a break, guys. She told you. That's why I have a nice picture here showing.
Oh.
Yes.
It's Mr. Anonymous, yes.
It's only me.
It's been a long night. I've just joined the members of the morning gang.
Yes.
Because of what. But today I felt like I should wait, watch your review, and then come up with comments because what happened today really, this court is taking us away right now. And I also want to raise something about you, Mr. Anonymous. I think you are also involved here because whatever you are saying, it happened exactly the way you anticipated. Now it's been long you taking those anticipations.
Not involved. No. I really don't trust you. Also, no, guys. I think today it showed us. There are people who are in jail because of no reasons. Because what happened today just proved to us, Mr. Never lost the case. Influence, not influence, support emsarroundile kuwo wonke lama case abantu abadonse emajele because today it showed ukuthi utreatwa njengengane etotoswayo. If you can check, because I went back I think 3 times just to check ukuthi what Mnisi did wrong on that questioning. He didn't do anything wrong, and he was following all the procedures. Even the way he was questioning Mr. Steyn, he even apologized by raising the voice. He said it's the way he talks, and he wanted to hear him clearly. Yeah.
But now when they saw good like Mr. Steyn ustakile and Nabo abakwazi ukumnceda, then they stood up and they act as if Mnisi done something wrong. I went back 3 times. trying to find out what Mr. Mnisi did wrong on that incident. He didn't do anything wrong. Even Alento Leia 2-hour rule in South Africa, even myself, I had an issue. I don't see any reason why we should add 2 hours in all the time. It's because we're in South Africa. I don't get any point why we should add that 2-hour rule. So it shows, because if you remember, even Tefu, when he was trying to speak out, some of the politicians, they came and they said the guy is acting like a hooligan. Yes, he must be arrested, stripped the permission of
practicing.
Of practicing.
Yeah.
But now I don't see anyone who's talking now. But this is happening in court. But I've never heard any person from the politicians saying something or saying a word. But this is what we are seeing on a national television. And I agree with these callers. These people are just wasting our money.
Yeah, they are.
They are really wasting our money, and we are busy crying that we don't have enough money to do serious things in South Africa. But this is the waste of money.
It is.
And you can't just come and say it's an error. Just simple like that. It's an error. It's an error on someone else's life, or it depends who do you have money or you don't have money in this South Africa. That's how I see things. You just say it easily. All right, it was an error. Just easy like that.
In passing, you just.
It was just an error. So how many people are stuck in jail because of
the error?
Same, because if Mnisi didn't see this error, these guys were going down because your judge Rata, your friend Rata, is writing whatever.
Yeah, he's taking them serious when they're speaking these errors. Come inside.
And tell me you are not a cameraman on that court. Are you not a cameraman?
I don't even.
No, man. No. Because the face of and that smile of Mr. Vaseline.
Yes.
And the way they show Rata when Steyn was stuck, I was laughing alone. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your morning. Thank you for good work, and thank you. Because without this show, I think some of the things we won't pick up in that case.
Yeah.
So this show it's revealing a lot, because even myself, I watched the case, and then later I come back and just to get a clarity, I go back to the to your review. So thank you a lot, guys, for your good job.
Thank you.
Enjoy the morning.
You too. Right. Ness is saying 2 hours was to try and make up for the lies, but they didn't calculate properly. Yeah. Hey, allegedly everything obviously that is said here, and the views of the callers are also alleged. They might forget sometimes to say that. But yeah, things are happening, man. You know, that 2 hours started there. In that house, what is happening in that house, and when did it happen? Because there were going to be questions, in my opinion, that were going to be asked. If you said the incident happened around 7, there were going to be questions that were going to be asked. And this theory came about with Tifo. And the question is, did you believe it or did you not believe it? But now that you look at it, this 2 hour thing is not, if it fails here, as it seems as if it's failing, then that 2 hour thing, that side, then it should be scrapped also. Then that we are going back to the theory of what happened in that house. My fear is that there were a lot of things that Tifo said. Seems as if later, one by one, they're coming into light. And if that is the case, there's one thing that is left. He did say Senzo was shot by mistake. He did say that. That is his theory. It was there. Please go check it. Don't quote me on that one. Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi Serenity, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Ano.
Yes,
Mrs. Emily Niapila.
Hi, Siapilo. Emily is not here anymore.
hayi ngavuka straight ngavuka nasebuthokweni yathi next mzansi is reality ukhona ngeke.
Yes.
Uyabona Mr. Anonymous sukusela I started follow this case long time ago sicala kule show yini.
Yes.
Kunalomunye ubaba, I think he was from Free State or where.
Yeah.
Alokungena hayi Mr. Ano. Jawujetha ntwe hayike ngiratha ye lingininda ye hayi
usasekhona bekhona izono
usasekhona
yeah usasekhona
uyabona Mr. Ano I'm praying ukuthi manje into ekufuna yenzeke uMinister of Sports must come in charge.
Yes,
must come on board, the person who can make sure ukuthi why people are quiet. I think is the one who can come Mackenzie with other solution, because sesibonile several times on the ground trying something new and stopping other things which anything ngayo he talk about politician be involved in some of the things.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And he talk on public TV where everyone is watching in South Africa, in the world. You don't scared.
Yes.
I think it's the person who can come on board and rescue this thing of allegedly urat.
Yeah.
Urata, because manga ayabonakala when you speak lies. That is why police banokushaya umuntu bathi yeah siyabona ukhuluma manga, tell us the truth. But uthola ukuthi lento lebakushayela yona it's something le ukuthi uyenzile or awuyenzanga kodwa manga ayabonakala. Uyabona manga ayabonakala. Steyn cishe wabhasta, cishe wathi I fuck allegedly sikhuluma igama lelo, but nje ucishe waya lapho just that ukuthi ujaji washesha wahlakanipha wambri wa cross border fast and of which now uthi uyabuka ujaji he don't respect the defense. Ujaji he speak the way he want, kanti why nabathi we cross examine mine why bayenze lento leyo ngoba each and everyone is given time to make sure ukuthi he prepare he explain everything accordingly, but yena suddenly muna khuluma so umngena emlonyeni asaqala ukukhuluma umuntu so umngena emlonyeni sewuyasukuba nabanoyi naye la nasibande sebadidekile abazi bafuna idocument yani uyabona nje ukuthi ubugebengu bodwa lento le South Africa is a shame, man.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. No, thank you, Mr. Anon, give others a chance, but this one I think Mr. Mackenzie is high time to come on board manje. Kufuna bone le show le one day.
Yes. Asiyabonga.
Samsendela thine samsendela thine los ngala underground losathi we are on the ground samsendela uzoyithola le lona le, because le show le stayishare utayibona because we are worried that South Africa you can't kushone Senzo. There is a lot of people who have passed labanye sebabuya eprison sesiphelile isikhathi sabo, and then Senzo, we still no justice for Senzo.
Yeah.
I know. Thank you, Mr. Ano.
Siyabonga mfethu.
Siyabonga futhi.
Enkosi. Asize. Let us come, guys. I see they are saying keep it short. Ned is saying please keep it short because you guys are many. You're calling. I see some of you. You see, there's someone that I feel bad because he's been calling. I can see. It's just that when he calls or when she calls, there's a person who's on the podium. Please don't give up. Mzansi, hello. Let us keep it short. Less than 2 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes.
Hi. Sorry?
Hi. Let's make it 2 minutes max.
Yes, it's just one point I forgot to mention when I called earlier.
Yeah.
Did you all notice Urata winking at Steyn?
I saw that on comments. I didn't. I think.
He was winking not once, a few times, and he would be miming what Steyn must say. There was one time where he was saying like "keep quiet" or something. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, thanks, man. Okay.
Allegedly. Okay, good. Thank you. Allegedly. Yeah, guys, keep calling, man. Don't give up. I see some of you call a lot, but you find that there's someone, please, let's make it like 2 minutes so that we give each other a chance and have a lot of people calling. Please, right now the line is open. Please call. And I see Emily is back. Let me try to sort you out. Yes, you're back.
I'm back.
The face of Mzansi. Nomsasa khohliwe uVaselino ukuthi usane pending case. Yeah?
Oh, 375 allegedly. Allegedly.
As if with no malicious thinking around it. We just want 375. Unfortunately, there are people who are going to be collateral damage if 375 comes into play. But, come on, guys. It's not big. We're just asking for 375. We believe, as a country, that that's what would give justice to Senzo's case. That's our belief. I always say they represent us. That's all we want.
Yes.
Let us see. That guy who was investigating this case, a guy of no color, what happened to those Section 205 analyses that were done by him? Where are they?
That's a good question. Where are they?
Because I think they would speak better, unlike these ones of internet calling. Where are they? Like they pick and choose what they want to use on that 375 and leave other stuff. This guy should be called here to testify. Tell us why. Chief, you investigated. Are you the one who said Kelly is a person of what interest? Mamulao, thank you very much for your gift. Thank you. A generous
Thank you,
gift.
Mamulao.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Really appreciate it. Guys, there was someone who was calling here, and now everyone has stopped. Yes,
Please,
Zanzi, hello.
don't give up. Zanzi, hello. Let us keep it short.
Zanzi, hello. I'm gonna give you time to reduce the volume. Then.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Hi.
How are you? Can you hear us? Oh, after calling so much, you struggle to hear us. That's the person I was waiting for, because I saw he's been calling. That's the person I was waiting for. Those 205 are with the defense. They will probably use them. That point. Maybe. Let's hope. Some of them are there. I'm hoping that they will be used properly. Because 375 is really dying a slow, painful death because of this case. I don't understand why we are in this case. We didn't buy a ticket for this car. I can tell you that.
No, not at all.
But we're in this car.
This is not what we signed up for.
We didn't sign up for this. This isn't where we parked our cars. We parked them somewhere else. 375. I know it's not older. Okay. Sipo Nengu is saying +2 indicates that the SA is 2 hours ahead of the UTC line, which is 0. The +2 would affect the call if the receiver was in England, for example. Yes, that's exactly. I want to change to SA time. Yes, we are convecting something. What are we convecting in South Africa? I mean, we've convected everything, PDF and everything, but now we are convecting things that don't even need to convecting.
For me, it's the lever, the goal.
I mean, you go on public platform. The SABC one is public. You tell us about +2. Please explain it.
The audacity.
Yes. When I see, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's been the singaga. Steyn usithatha.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You want to convert it into South African time zone where you could work it properly. You know, and align with the theory of South Africa.
The
time of South Africa. Now, what are we convicting? Unless you're telling me they were not even in Cape Town, these people.
Hi, which brings us back to the allegation.
I hope you guys understand this thing of 2 hours.
Long, where's SMS? I'm outside.
So
SMS
now,
now.
if we were to minus 2 hours, all of us, the theory changes. If we were to minus 2 hours from the so-called 2 hours of SMS, that SMS, they thought they were bringing something that no one has ever seen. They picked one SMS or two. One or two. Was it one or two? Now it comes back to bite them because they have to push for two. Hey. This is surprising, man. The nerves of these people to come public platform, pretend as if we are naive to what is happening. More so when you talk about numbers. We have people who did physics here. We have people who did geography here. We have everything. And then you come and tell us you add 2 hours. Steyn, why did you say we add 2 hours? Can I ask him tomorrow? Please elaborate further as to why we are adding 2 hours. Because it couldn't be 2 hours of downloading. And that's what I think you would say.
Yes.
Which is crap.
Which would be nonsense.
If you ask me.
So what is going to happen from here now? He needs to move those towers tomorrow. As in tomorrow.
He's not going to be able to move them.
Plus
where is he going to get them?
He needs to move them as in yesterday.
And he volunteered, give that information for free. They asked him, anything you need to change? He said, in fact, the towers must change. Go to Pinky. The way he's calling her Pinky, it's as if they were, at some point, they were in one restaurant. The defense is, you can tell the defense has not met this person or they are not friends with this person. It's Pinky fight feeling him. And then, now he's saying Pinky.
Pinky is if they've met, they
eat
together,
friends.
you know.
As if
they're regulars who see each other or something like that. Allegedly.
Guys, since we are not calling, it's time for us to rest. Please like the video. And again, thank you very much for Mamlao for your gift. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mamlao.
Join the membership. Do everything. And unfortunately, Mamlao is a member. Thank you for being a member. Those are people really who are assisting us. Thank you. We appreciate it. Bolo.
Thank you. And may God increase where you are taking your finances from.
London is +2. It's in winter. Summer is +1. You know, those are things that we now we are learning.
It's now winter.
Raul.
+2.
Thank you for being
+1.
here. Super chat. Danko. That is my mail. Sizwe Mgaga, thank you for being here. Tim Kulu, Makulu, thank you for being here. How do you join membership? Oh, it's simple. You're a subscriber now for sure because you are talking here. And then you'll see the button that says join. Then from the join button, then it's gonna, that's a scary, now that's when you go to a scary part that makes many people turn back and they think, hey, this is a,
these people have my banking information.
No, we don't have anything. It's just,
no, we don't.
It's YouTube, which is a company, in case they're not gonna take your money if you don't want it to stop it. There are groups, so you choose, you become a core, there are many groups there, you choose which one you want to join. I think we started 20 something rand, going to 99 rand, and then going further to 200. Yes, so you choose there which one you want to join. You join that, and then you become a contributor to this channel. That's how basically it goes. Then I can safely tell you the platform in terms of banking details. I'm a member somewhere else also. It does not give you problems. No. So that's how you join. You become a subscriber first, then after being a subscriber, then that button of join avail itself to you. Then you can look for it if you're using a phone. Not sure how on TV, but because TV is one hell of a thing, it's big. But the cell phone, there's a join button. That button takes you to other options. Yes. Yes.
You navigate with them arrows. And okay, if you're selecting, I think. But yeah, on the TV it's like that. It says
what Steyn presented was prepared for him. That man did a course that was 2 hours long. He does not know. Right. Tabiso, goodbye, Tabiso. Figile, fixing night family. Thank you, Tsidiana Mohapi. Thank you, our member. Lord, he will call him Pingi because he's pissed with her for. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello. Before we leave, Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Ann, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm a lost soul. I just came back, Mr. I want my data.
Okay,
you still want your data.
Yeah, I came back. Yeah, I've got a few lines. I won't be long, but I've got a few lines that I just want to ask.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one. These calls that they're discussing, who called who called what, have they now pinpoint or have they put us on the scene that who pulled the trigger?
No, I think that's what the ballistic is going to come to.
So we're just wasting our time now. Who called who? Because like I've called you now, I don't think there's a crime there.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we passed that one.
Yes.
Number two, I stay in the East End. Oh, I just gave up my location. Now I think they will come into my house.
They don't know who you are. You just want your date.
They don't know who you are. You are Mr.
Yeah.
I want
but
my date.
I'm not understanding this thing of Muleleki Tower versus Vosloras Hostel. Kanjan. Because Muleleki is very far from Vosloras, my man.
It is.
Very, very far from Vosloras.
Mm.
So there's no way they can say, no, now this guy was in Vosloras, now he's picked up by Muleleki Tower, around what? How many towers are there before that one of Muleleki?
They were all busy, according to Rat.
I think they've lost that one as well.
Yes, they were all busy, according to Rat.
Yeah, another one, I don't think the state should have called Pinky, eh?
Yeah.
They had to, they didn't have a choice. Section 205 is the source, biggest source.
Oh, so they were compelled to call it because of the 205.
Yes.
Because Steyn gave the evidence and we believed, oh, hey, up until Umeden.
They thought they were putting Ipika on top of everything.
Yeah, up until Umeden. But now, my second last point. Say the court stops today, then Umatala must give a judgment. Based on what is going to accuse these guys from what we've heard so far?
Look, he's the same guy who said the head was inconclusive, which puts him
DNA.
on the, even though the expert came and said these guys were not there according to this DNA.
It was not a match.
Yes.
So you can see how this thing is gonna go, right?
It's twists and turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now the evidence, the first evidence before is not pointing these guys to anything that they were there in the house in terms of the head and the DNA. And second, again, these calls. They're not saying anything. They just say this one called that one, this one called that one. I don't understand now. But the good one that came out today from Steyn, I'll thank him for that. If I come home late and my wife says, hey, you are late, I will say, hey, don't forget, Let's add the 2-hour rule. You see, I'm on time. So big up Steyn on that one. My wife, there's no way she's gonna accuse me of being late or whatever. Whatever she says in terms of time, I say, Mara baby, let's get the 2-hour rule.
2-hour rule. It applies.
Yeah, no, that's all I wanted to say, Mr. Ano and Emily.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Man.
Just add the 2-hour rule. We're supposed to come back at 7. No, just add the 2-hour rule.
The nice thing, if these people can manipulate data by adding 2 hours, what can stop them from changing the gun and blunt bullets, which can break glasses and chairs and all that? Yeah, allegedly, yes, exactly. See, that's why I'm worried about this ballistic gas, because I mean, you are testing the gun that I don't trust, in my opinion. I don't trust that gun.
You know, even this whole thing of Kelly rebooted, wiped her cell phone clean. And then Ramosipili brings up the thing of Zandi of saying that their phones were confiscated around 11 and 12. And then it's like, okay, so now who had this phone and who was rebooting this phone? Because it looks like a lot was going on in that night.
Right. Mthokozisi Langa, you were here. Thank you very much for that. And just to go through Msian. Thank you. Let's see who else was here. Yeah, I've called most of you guys. If I miss you, it's not my tools. I saw you. You came to and you left. You said you'll catch up. I'm just remembering you from the bar. Tapiwa, also from thank you. Thank you very much for being with us today. And Sipo, I've already read you. Lungis Jonas, thank you for being with us here. And I saw Mamlao, thank you. And thank you again. Double thank you.
Someone is saying shell phone is not coming in tomorrow. Because of Mnisi.
No, Msasasa, thank you.
Guys, you think Steyn will come?
Sibanda, Skatele.
No, he has to come. He has to finish.
He's coming back
what
tomorrow.
He's studying.
He cannot say what he said and then not come back.
Baba has to finish.
Pakate, thank you. Nangelop, thank you. Colin Lovo, thank you. Musabanda, Banda, yes, thank you. K. Biguayo, thank you. Aya, thank you. Yes, thank you guys. Everyone was here. Might have missed you, but CN Poker, I like how you do it, man. You always come at the end and say bye. Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Lungis, thank you. Bye. Tembelani, bye. Blessings. Bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.